Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if you're following the program religiously, you agree with me that we are moving into the next item of the program. I'd like to have the honor to bring to the microphone stand our delightful, glamorous, adorable Queen Mother of the Service, dedicated, committed, and devoted to the repositioning of the service for a world-class institution. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the microphone stand Dr. Folasade Yemi-Esan, CFR, to give us address and proclamation of the Peace Officer status of the graduate. One more time, our hands together for our dear sweet mother, Head of Service of the Federation. Thank you very much.
Civil servants arriving late for work and performing poorly cannot help Nigeria's image and level of development. What we do and don't do matters. It is our duty to deliver public services. There may be times when we are asked to do things we know we shouldn't do, but if we fail to fulfill our duties in an ethical manner and with integrity, the public we serve will suffer. It is not just when we neglect to do our work. It is also about the way we do our work. If we work in ways that are outdated and inefficient, it will take a lot more time to do a lot less. We cannot continue working this way. We need to embrace technology and move into the digital future where work is faster and more efficient. We want to live in a country where everyone is treated fairly and receives the same quality public service. So, rather than serving our own interests with greed, we need to put the interests of our people first. So, by embracing a good work ethic and more efficient systems, better technologies, and law-abiding public servants, we can build a more prosperous Nigeria. And by building this Nigeria now, our country will be capable of giving our people a better life in the future.
Our guest speaker, Folasade Yemi-Esan, the financial guru, turned this afternoon to the best leadership speaker I've had in a long time. I just want to seize this opportunity to say a few things. The first is to thank you for accepting the invitation. I know that you had other conflicting events in the last few days, but I really appreciate your presence here with us this afternoon. Your graduation lecture was very insightful, to the point, educative. Even those of us that are not graduates were taking notes. Thank you very much. We'll make sure the lecture is distributed to the graduates and indeed to everybody that is here present. Because it's something we would have to go back to and listen to over and over again. Thank you very much. Especially for redirecting our thoughts as to why we're public servants. We will not, and we do not take your presence here for granted. Thank you, sir. DGs, chief executives of agencies of government, my own very dear LEAD-P graduates, members of the media, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I'm delighted to give this address on the occasion of the second graduation ceremony of the Leadership Enhancement and Development Program, P. Permit me to most respectfully and specially extend a very warm welcome to His Excellency, the Vice President that is represented here today. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we have heard this afternoon, human capital is the greatest wealth that nations and institutions possess. Therefore, investing in human knowledge and skills is an urgent necessity for development. This is because people are the main engine for growth and development. And without skilled and knowledgeable personnel, it's not possible to achieve the growth, development, and advancement that nations aspire to. We all know that before now, the Nigerian civil service, there was an absence of a structured and targeted training program for civil servants. This was a very big challenge. Trainings across ministries and departments were carried out without considering the actual competencies that were lacking in service. In the past couple of years, however, there's been a series of change in the way we conduct trainings in service. First of all, trainings and all the MDAs are coordinated. And at the beginning of the year, we do a training needs assessment in all ministries to ensure that we target the skills that we need in service. And so the implementation of the Leadership Enhancement and Development Program, LEAD-P, is also one of our direct responses to the glaring knowledge and skills gap identified in the service. And so we needed to develop a core group of officers that would bear the responsibility of the machinery of governance. This top talent program was then structured to identify, train, and retain the best hands in the civil service, who will become the face of the service in terms of technical and leadership skills. The choice of focusing on the middle-level officers, that is, officers on salary grade level 10 to 14, was informed by the need to lay a very strong foundation for the future of the civil service. Perhaps the big question going through the minds of our LEAD-P graduates today is, what will be the leadership demands of the future? Because that's when your skills would really, really be needed. So we must understand that leadership is not just about knowing what to do. It's also about getting people to want to do the right thing. Leaders of the 21st century and beyond are not expected to follow where the path may lead, but to go where there's no path and leave a trail behind. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the cardinal objectives of the Leadership Enhancement Development Program is also to help change the mindset of officers and increase their self-awareness and patterns of behavior, so that they can also, in turn, influence the mindset of other officers, making them more capable of leading work teams. I'm so happy that the guest lecturer dealt a lot on this. And so our goal is to train and inject adequate competencies in the civil service through the annual selection and training of at least 100 of these officers. I have no doubt in my mind that this program is fit for purpose, considering all that has been put in place, from the understanding that the only limitations you will ever face are those that you create yourselves. I thank you all for your esteemed presence with us today, and especially once again for the very insightful lecture that we had this afternoon. It will take a long time before we forget those piercing words that you said to us today. But I assure you again that by the grace of God, we're on course and we will not disappoint you. The permanent secretary just reminded me that I have not admitted the graduates into the class of Lead P officers. They are still Lead P graduates, so please stand up. And I stand here this afternoon as head of service of the Federation. By the grace of God, admit the 106 of you as Lead P officers. You are not in training anymore. Congratulations.